All right.
Welcome back.
We are here. This will be our second live stream. Can everybody hear us? There's 4 people watching already.
Wow, look at us.
That's awesome. Thank you, guys. So, today we're going to be talking about... Damn it. Where are the pictures when I need them? So this is a cool way to do the live streams because you can just put it up on the TV and do other things while you have us on. And so today's travel tips, hiking gear, transportation, and hotel reviews. For Costa Rica specifically on this one.
Yes.
So do you want to start?
Yeah. So I guess I'll start with the hiking gear and the packing. That was one thing that I had trouble with because I like to be very prepared, and Kevin just packs the day before and takes a pair of sandals and construction boots. So one of the things that I found interesting, I actually had a friend who had just gotten her honeymoon to Hawaii, and they did a lot of hiking. So I asked her, because the terrain's kind of the same, like a lot of hiking, waterfalls, and I actually got these like water sneakers on Amazon. They were like $13, and they were my saving grace. And I asked Kevin if he wanted some. He said, "No, that's okay." Do you regret not getting a pair?
Yeah, I do.
So actually. Good.
And
I can link the. I will actually, because I love them and I can't wait to use them again.
Yeah. And so this year has been crazy with traveling because for every country there's a different different protocol. Yeah. And so for Costa Rica, we didn't need a COVID test to go in, negative or positive or vaccine.
We need a positive COVID test from you before you come into the country.
Yeah, they didn't care. Just go into the country, and then when you're leaving, they'll have you need to have a negative test, which could be. It could sound like they want you to stay there, but they just want tourists to go into their country. And a test is like $150 to $200 depending on the hotel that you get it from, and so it's not that bad.
No, and especially I think we paid how much should we pay?
I mean, it's a hefty price for a test, but they make it convenient for you.
And you get it within 24 hours, and the doctor came to us in our hotel, which was really nice, so we didn't have to stop what we were doing. Well, of course, there's a story for this. So we had the doctor booked to go to the hotel around 2 o'clock, one of the days that we were there. And Kevin decided to go fishing, and I was like, okay, just be back by this time. And of course, he wasn't back by that time, so I got my COVID test at 2 o'clock, and thankfully the doctor was super nice, and he's like, "Oh, I'll just come back tomorrow morning, no big deal."
And that day,
so he did.
That day, the power went out.
Oh yes.
In the whole city.
Yes.
And there was no Wi-Fi, and we didn't have the local network, and
AC.
Or AC.
And I decided to stay in the hotel that day.
No Wi-Fi, AC, so we were living life. Pura vida.
I got a massage that day. And speaking of hotel reviews, that hotel is biasly our favorite hotel.
In Santa Teresa,
in
Costa Rica.
Malpais, Casa Chameleon. So they have 2 properties in Costa Rica in the Guanacaste Peninsula. One in Las Catalinas, which is a little bit more north, and the second one in Malpais, which is south in the Santa Teresa Punta Arenas area. And we just love it so much. The Casa Chameleon in Las Catalinas seems a little bit more luxurious, upscale. It is larger, it has a full-on restaurant. And I don't know, it feels different.
It does.
But
do you have your phone? For lighting for our face.
Over there. But Malpais just feels like home to us. We got to Kevin went fishing with the chef.
I wonder how that looks. How do we look? Do we look better? Can anybody?
Oh, you can see how red I am from
yoga. Do we look better or worse?
1 or 2. I think that looks fine, actually.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
You can see sheep's little ears.
Hey, Quentin T. Who's Quentin Tarantino? I really want to know because he comments on all our stuff. Very thankful. But okay, so next, let's just skip to the next one, which is hiking gear. And so there's a lot that I learned from myself. Yeah, I can see more. Okay, cool. So with the hiking gear, we're always going back and forth about buying boots for the trails. We go on a lot of trails, and we do a lot of walking and everything.
And we still have not bought hiking boots.
And I'm a sandals guy, and so I'm always
I'm
in
a barefoot
sandals.
girl.
And it's kind of hard. It's like, all right, we're gonna go on this trail. I need to have boots on the whole time, and it's like, do we need a waterproof one? Do we need a lighter pair that I can just wear throughout the day? And so what we've seen a lot of is the waterproof ones, and I don't think those are good because if you get water in them, the same way they keep water out, they keep water in. And so that's something that you need to think about too. It's probably better for the snow, but if you're going on a nature trail like a normal hike, you probably want the ones that the water can seep through better. I think Lewis got some hiking boots recently. The ones that I want now are the Morels, and so those are the ones that we want at the moment. Morels.
I know.
And
they keep on coming out with really cute.
I went to Dick's Sporting Goods, and they didn't have the style that I wanted. So you probably have to get the stuff online.
Yeah.
And that's kind of tough because I like trying things on. And so what else? Backpacks. Like what do you take on these trails, and how much do you really need? And I always take a huge backpack. Damn it, I didn't have it here. But it's a huge. It's in my car with my drone. And so I usually take a big backpack that's like, it's more for work, and it's usually a big thing hanging out of my back. It's gotten really heavy lately, and there's barely anything in there.
What do you mean there's barely
Like,
anything? It's his scrapbook. Kevin, wherever we go, he'll take a napkin from a restaurant from Germany. He's like, I need to keep this. And he keeps it in his book bag. He doesn't throw anything away.
Japan subway maps, Germany tourist
that's
things.
what keepsake boxes are for.
Japan coins.
Right before we went to Costa Rica, he was cleaning out his bag, and he found, what was it, like that astronaut ice cream?
Oh, yeah.
I was like, can you throw this away? It's like 4 years old.
That was awesome.
I don't even know why I bought this.
And guess what? I ate it.
I did not.
It tastes like
exactly what you think it tastes like.
Sugary cardboard.
Also, on the hiking gear thing, I mean, I guess I would just recommend to look at where you're going and look at the temperature. Definitely, I guess, look at like blogs and see what other people talk about. If you know somebody that lives in the country or has been to the country, definitely ask them what the temperature is like or what the weather's like. Costa Rica, between the months of May to October, is rainy season, which I personally think is the best time to go because it's a rainforest. Like, you want to be there when it's the most alive, and it becomes the most alive with all the rain. So we did invest in good raincoats, which I was very, very happy that we did, because the first time we didn't have raincoats.
Which ones did we get?
Columbia ones.
The Columbia one at the Columbia outlet at Dolphin
Mall.
So here's a good rule of thumb that I just came up with literally right now. If the trail's like 1 to 2 miles, you probably don't need that much anyway. So just carry a light bag. You need water, some protein bars, or
chocolate chip cookies,
a knife, and if you start going up north, you need some bear spray and bear bells, which are a thing.
And
that's pretty much it, really. I mean, you're not going to run out of any. Just stay on the trail. Don't do anything dumb.
Yeah.
Because people do get lost. But if you're on a paved loop that's 1 mile to 2 miles long, you're not going to need a lot on the trail. That's because
bug spray.
Then your back and bug spray maybe.
So much bug spray.
If you put too much stuff in your backpack, it's just gonna be too heavy and annoying. And whatever. I saw it as a workout, but
yeah,
it's fine. And so what else? Oh, I got some cool Columbia shorts that were like $19.99 at the Columbia outlet, and they're really good material. They don't stain. I sat on the floor to look at the Quetzal on the trail. And I was like, oh, man, my shorts are going to be so dirty. They were the beige ones, and so they always get dirt stains somehow. But these Columbia ones are very good material, light, but still durable, good pockets, and they feel good, even if you don't wear underwear. It's called experience. Now I'm free, free balling. Oh, it's all right. Okay. What's next? Do you have any hiking gear?
Um,
Olivia never carries a backpack. I carry everything.
yeah, I just take myself.
And as of lately, I have my drone inside, and so I bought the lightest drone, and that was good. And for that, okay.
Yeah, definitely a lot of water though. Make sure that you take your own water and you don't think that sharing with a person is a good idea. Kevin and I have learned that we do not share food or water or coffee. And that's okay.
So
It's okay.
I carry this huge hydro flask.
We each have one actually. Oh, I guess it is a good. It's open. I think that is another good tip. Like we brought our like hydro flasks with us. Like obviously we took them empty.
Oh, bang.
And we took them on the trip with us, which I think was a huge lifesaver. Especially like we were traveling a lot, so like we'd be in the car for like 3 hours sometimes. The cool thing about Costa Rica is like the water is like you can drink the water anywhere. And like on the side of the road, we actually got a video of it, so we'll post it when we make our honeymoon videos eventually. On the side of the road, they do have like little faucets. We do have little faucets. They have faucets that you can get water from. So it was cool. Like we saw guys, like workers, that they just like pulled over on the side of the road. I just thought that was really nice. And it's like little things like that that make me love Costa Rica. And I'm like, yes, like they care about the planet. They have this like endless resource and they give it back and like it's free. They are not trying to make money off of it because water is an essential need for living humans.
Did you tell them when you saw the water dripping out the side of the mountain, like on the road, like the natural water?
Waterfalls?
No, it looked like a natural waterfall spring where people just stop to fill up with water on the side of the road. Did you just say that? I wasn't listening. Okay, so what next?
I took her notes away.
Next is the transportation. That's a good one.
I loved our transportation this time. We got really lucky and we got an FJ Cruiser, which if we lived in a place that would be of use for, the FJ Cruiser was the best. It's super spacious. We used Nomad America. And I loved it because we were like driving around and people asked us, they're like, oh, is that your company? Like, no. So shout out to Nomad America. They were so great, so helpful. They picked us up at the airport, so we met the guy at the airport. And yeah, he basically just had everything set up. It comes already with like a camper, like one of those like pop-up accordion tents that is on the top of the truck, which we never used. But it would have been fun to use it in the back seat. It has like blankets, machetes, flashlights. And like the truck has like a big tube like on the side of it, like a water reservoir.
Yeah.
And we used it to like wash our feet when we were at the beach.
So
and highly recommend using Nomad America. I think they're only in Central America right now.
Yeah. And so it all depends on what you're doing when you get to after you get to the airport. And so you can either get an Uber, which we highly recommend you find somebody that knows somebody in Costa Rica that can move you around.
That knows somebody.
And you use the Uber app and you can pay them like that, because typical touristy things where people will try to take advantage. And there's a lot of people there that are willing to take you anywhere. But I don't like just going off of anybody. I don't know the rates. I don't know the conversions. I'm not comfortable with all that. And so I always try to ask a friend if they know somebody. Always ask for a referral. Mm-hmm. Luckily, this time we did get Nomad America, and so they picked us up straight from the airport, which was great.
And the car came with Wi-Fi, so we didn't have to worry about getting like a SIM card or like other ways for us to be able to have service on our phones. Since we were there for 2 weeks, I was a little concerned about that. Yeah. But thankfully, the car does come with Wi-Fi, and it comes like a cell phone that you can use Waze. So you don't even have to use your phone while you're driving the car. So that was really, really helpful for us also. And so now thinking about it, it depends on where you're going in Costa Rica. There's two main airports. There's the San Jose and Liberia. Liberia on average is
around $700 flight to get there, and then San Jose is usually like a $300 flight.
Mhm.
And then there's there's the domestic airport, which is right next door, and it's like another $90 to take you wherever. And the
Yeah.
hotel usually has a car that will pick you up from that hotel and take you to the airport, and it's included in the cost of you staying there,
Or for a small fee.
or for a small fee. And so it all depends, but that's how we got around.
Mhm.
And
Yeah, we really had no trouble getting around anywhere. And there's only one road to wherever you're going, so you can't even
they
get
they have
lost.
fixed infrastructure in Costa Rica since the last time we were there 3 years ago. There's potholes everywhere on the major highways and the little towns, which was it's fine. It's normal. It's part of the adventure. But this time we went, they had brand new paved highways. It was incredible. We were like,
I
oh
know.
man,
It made us really happy. Like, okay, good.
It's the little things, right? But we're so lucky here in the U.S. that we have paved roads, right?
And
You ever think about that?
many ways to get to one place. This is just
Yeah. There's only one highway
one
to get.
road.
There's only one highway to get to a lot of places, and it's usually around a mountain. And if you have to get to the other side, you have to go all the way around, and it could be like an hour and a half to 2 hours to get to
45 minutes away.
Yeah. So that's that. I mean, there was also a time where, okay, so for the one road situation, we were going down a road one time, and there was a bad storm, and the rain washed away the bridge. Right, like how does that even happen? And so we're like, damn it. And I asked everybody, like, what are you guys gonna do? There was literally trucks transporting food to different villages. Like, oh, what are you guys gonna do? And they're like, oh, pura vida. Like, wow, you guys really do live it over here. And so that was crazy to see.
Yeah.
And so then we had to take 2 hours back to the point where we can get on another highway to get to another city, to get on a ferry
That only leaves twice a day.
Put our car on the ferry, get to the other side of the peninsula, and then drive 2 hours at night with no lights, no street lights, on mountains with potholes and stuff. And so that was an adventure.
Yes. But as soon as we got to the hotel, it was like,
Yeah,
I don't think we were breathing like that whole 3 hours.
that was insane.
So I guess a good travel tip also is travel with somebody that is going to make it worthwhile, and somebody that is going to be able to laugh with you in situations like that. Because, I mean,
You got mad.
I didn't get mad at you.
No, that was one of the few times I've heard Olivia scream, and she was like, she screamed.
This
Not
was
at me.
This was
but like,
pre-yoga, Olivia. This was.
she was so mad.
How could I didn't understand?
And I'm the balance. I was like, whatever. We're just gonna keep on driving.
But thank God he just made me laugh, and I'm like, I mean, I guess like what else are we gonna do? Like screaming about it and getting upset about it wasn't gonna change anything. The bridge wasn't gonna magically appear.
What made me feel like a little better about the situation was that the locals showed me a video on Facebook of the house the night before, and there was water up to their waist, and the furniture was floating. And that was pretty crazy. Like, that doesn't happen here.
It puts things in perspective.
How do you have so much water in your house and you still live there? Like, everything's okay during the rainy season. I don't know. That's insane.
So, yeah, I definitely put things into perspective and just gave us, like, there are worse things in this world than a bridge falling down. And to some people, a bridge falling down is a really big thing. So.
Let me go back to hiking gear really quick. So, by the way, this is my favorite shirt. It's a Patagonia shirt with like the new fabric. I bought another one. It's pricey, but it's so worth it. Just want to sleep in it right now.
Good night.
Okay, good night. Okay, so this is a bag that I thought was gonna be my hiking bag. It might look pretty big there, but it's actually small. This, just so you know, this is a 4 liter. This is a 4 liter hydration pack, and it has pockets. Has this one pocket
for your snacks.
This might be good for a trail, actually.
Of course.
I haven't used it, but and this brand is. Oh, he has a Send. Oh, look, Lewis has. a little hydration one. And so I want one of those big Ospreys, and this has a 2-liter water pack, camel pack. It's pretty cool. It has this thing to keep it intact. I haven't used this yet, which I should, but then it'd be like carrying this bag, maybe another bag. I was planning on returning this to get a bigger Osprey one, but it might be too big, and so do I get one big Osprey bag or this little one? I don't know. I'm still trying to figure it out. So I've resorted to the big bag that weighs like 20 pounds. And so, yeah, that's what we're talking about today. Anybody have any questions? There's 6 people watching. So can you guys try putting this on your TV and let me know if it works? Like just screen share it if anybody's already doing that.
So you put that one of the things that we're going to be doing was hotel reviews.
Hotel reviews, yeah.
Are we reviewing all our hotels that we stayed at?
South Florida Fishing Channel. Hey, friends.
Oh my god! That's so cool.
All right, now we feel cool. All right. Oh, look, Lewis is watching on their TV.
Living in a tree stand. Huh.
In a tree stand?
Like
who's that,
hunting?
Dan? Is that Captain Dan?
Like a hunting tree stand? So on our trip, obviously we're gonna like break down city by city. Oops, not a tree stand.
Oops, not a tree stand.
So our first 2 stays were at in
Treehouse.
La Fortuna. Cool. La Fortuna, which is like 2 hours north of San Jose in the mountains, and that's by the Arenal volcano.
Wait, really quick. So we're doing this because we tried making a video on La Fortuna and we recorded for like an hour, and I was editing it and it came out really boring. And so I hope that this live stream is kind of exciting when we post it. It's gonna go straight to there. I wonder if we stop this live stream and make another and start another one, and we talk about La Fortuna. You want to do that?
No.
Okay. But this is 20 video.
I know. 20. Well, I'm just gonna say because
okay.
you said that we were gonna review hotels, so let's review hotels.
Okay, let's review hotels.
It'll just be very quick.
Okay.
So in La Fortuna, we're not gonna talk about like exciting things or anything. Well,
okay.
The hotels were really exciting.
Okay.
So the first one was at Tabacon Resort, which is part of like the hot springs. So a gajillion stars I give it. We only stayed there one night because we wanted to stay there 3, but they were booked. So then my aunt, which is a travel agent, found us Nayara, right? Nayara.
Hi, Mom.
Nayara. What's it called?
Nayara Springs.
Nayara Springs, which was like only 10 minutes away. Also part of like the hot springs up there by the volcano, and it was just so luxurious. Like both of these hotels, I highly recommend, especially like for honeymooners. It is very romantic, but it's also just super. So cool. It's so cool. It's so cool. The hospitality in these places, like it is beyond 5-star. Something about Costa Ricans, especially like whether they're speaking English or Spanish, they're just so cute. Like they have like un cariño, like they care for you, even if they don't know you. Everything is like you say something like con gusto, like they're like with pleasure, and they really do mean it. So, and actually Nayara has like 3 types of stays on their property. It's a really big property. We stayed in Nayara Springs Gardens, I think. So that was like the more like luxurious one. They're all individual villas.
Here's a good tip. At Nayara Springs, they have tree houses. Well, it's glamping really, and that's the newer portion. And the lower the number, if you request a room, if anybody goes, if you request a lower number, that's the higher one with the better views.
Yeah, like the higher the elevation, I get like on the mountain.
That's an insider tip.
Yeah, but that one, I definitely want to stay there again. But he was saying, he's like, oh, that's like it's cool for like families and stuff.
That was probably what? Well, I don't know, like expensive a night.
Oh well, yeah. These are definitely like splurgy hotels. So those are the 2, and then we stayed at an Airbnb after that, and then we drove down. We actually like made this plan super last minute, and we stayed in Manuel Antonio for 2 nights.
Yes.
For 2 nights at the most stunning. I think those are the best views that we've had
Yeah.
in a hotel.
Yeah.
And that was Makanda. I remember it because Makanda. That's how I remember it. And it was out of control. Again, the service was phenomenal. The rooms, it was like a 70s theme, like not theme, but like that old like 70s vibe with like velvet. The bathroom was like made with all this coral. Like they just put so much detail into these things. And they did upgrade us to a suite because it was our honeymoon. So if you ever want something, no, I'm just kidding.
Wait, I gotta say that people didn't hook us up as much as I would wanted them to hook us up during our honeymoon. I don't know. I was expecting more. I wanted it all.
I think they did. Especially that we just showed up. We're like, hey, can we stay here? And yeah, definitely views. And it was funny because like on their website, it said for honeymooners and moneymakers. So there were two types of people there.
That was kind of ridiculous.
We were the honeymooners. Next time we go back, we'll be the moneymakers too. The food was so good. Oh, everything was amazing. The service was amazing. They have golf course. A lot of the places actually have golf courts that like take you from one place to the other because the property is just so large.
Yeah.
And then from there we went down to
So we're usually Airbnb people.
Yeah.
But for our honeymoon, you want to make it exciting, so you stay at these fancy hotels, and it was pretty cool.
It was worth it.
Like the third place we stayed at was an Airbnb, and it was kind of like, we want to stay at that level. And of course, anybody does. And so then we ended up staying at hotels the rest of the time. We canceled. No, we stayed at one.
We stayed at another Airbnb.
But we stayed
for one night instead of two.
But what I do recommend is that you rough it out at the beginning, like the first or second night, because the adrenaline's still there and you're so excited. You don't care where you stay.
Yeah.
Then the last night or two, you stay at a nicer hotel, and it'll feel better.
Yeah.
Or at least that's what we like. We like a mixture of both. If we're going camping and just Airbnb, but if you had to choose where you end up and where you start, definitely recommend camping, roughing it, and then.
But I'm happy that we started off at a really nice resort because it was our honeymoon. If it was any other trip, it wouldn't have mattered to me, but it did kind of like suck when we had like delicious hot water from the hot springs, and then we went to an Airbnb that didn't have hot water, and I was like, no. So I spoiled myself, but it's fine. Then the next hotel that we stayed at was the Marriott in Los Sueños, which it's a great place.
Very Americanized, though.
Very Americanized.
And that's why I didn't like it.
It felt like we were in West Palm, mostly because everybody that was there was probably from West Palm. We actually met people there that were like from the Florida Keys. I'm like, oh my God, so are we, basically. But it is a really nice resort. It didn't have the same charm as the rest of the Costa Rica hotels. But again, like for people that are there like to go fishing, like that's why we went there, so Kevin could go fishing. It all depends on what you want. They have amazing golf courses. They do have great charters that you can do there. So it just depends on what you're looking for. It just wasn't our type of hotel.
Yeah. Lewis is asking, is it good for single travelers? And so this is
Costa Rica in general?
This is a tricky question.
I think so.
Yeah. So it all depends, right? Like a lot of people that we saw traveling, we didn't see a lot of people on their own. I don't even always go with somebody, and then you'll end up meeting another couple, even if it's two girls or two guys. Like we saw a lot of friends traveling together, but it's always better to go in a pair because somebody's always looking out for you. But you'll end up going with you'll end up meeting other people and traveling with them, and that's awesome. Then you can share expenses, like a rented vehicle and stuff like that. But definitely go with somebody, because at the end of the day, it is a third world country, and people will try to take advantage of anything, and we don't want to hear that bad story. So, for example, one time somebody told us, we were asking for a gas station in Spanish, and they're like, "Yeah, it's at this house." I'm like, we look into a residential neighborhood, and this guy, and I was thinking, if this comes out in the news, and they say 2 travelers were kidnapped or dead
Two
because
dumb Americans.
they went for gas at a house. Like, they deserve that.
Yeah.
Later on, the gas station I was trying to look
That's
for
so funny.
that was there
The
3 years
person.
ago wasn't there anymore, and that's why I went to that spot. But then I found out that people do have gas at their house, because if you run out of gas, there's like a 10-mile difference between each gas station. So what are you gonna do? You have to buy it from these houses. But I didn't want to be that
Was it
story.
gonna be us?
It was for an ATV. We could walk wherever we were.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
And then our last hotel review was
Okay.
Casa Chameleon. That's like it's home. We became friends with the bartenders. We actually like went outside of the hotel one night and like hung out with him and his friends, who actually turned out to be people that we've been wanting to meet forever, which is created and created.
Yes.
Co-created. Which are basically like a clothing brand based out of Costa Rica.
The first clothing brand in Costa Rica.
Yeah.
So they claim.
No, really, nothing else is made there. Their products are made in Costa Rica. And we've been following them for a few years, and we're like, man, we want to meet them so bad, and it didn't work out until our bartender was like, oh, you want to go hang out with my friends? We're like, yeah, sure. And then it was these people, and like, oh, the universe is just so funny. And so we just became friends with them, and they're so. Can you tell we love it?
We love it.
Can you tell we want to be there all the time?
I think about Costa Rica every day.
Every day.
And I'm a guy that doesn't like visiting 2 places.
Yeah, even when we were planning our honeymoon, we were trying to figure out, okay, where do we go? But because of this amazing COVID thing, a lot of countries were still closed, or there were a lot of travel restrictions. Like, yeah, you can come to our country, but you have to quarantine for 2 weeks, and we didn't have that luxury to quarantine for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So I was like, let's just go back to Costa Rica. We know we love it. We know we love the food, but we'll just be there longer, and we'll get to see other places. And even still, like, we can go back and have see completely different places, but still end up in my place.
Yeah. And so I didn't want to go back. And it's not so much for homesickness. I don't really get homesick, even though I did get homesick once. Which
on this trip?
No.
Oh.
In Japan. And I think it was such a culture shock where the food was different. They had a lot of things were too fishy over it was just so much change in such a short period.
And so quick.
I was just ready to go back. I was like, okay, I've had enough. And I'm never like that. I want to keep on going all the time. But in Costa Rica, I just wanted to stay longer. And
I think definitely knowing the language helps a lot.
Yeah.
Like, we spoke Spanish for 2 weeks
that
straight.
Helps a lot.
We started speaking to each other in Spanish.
I could have stayed.
I was ready.
I mean,
when we were getting our COVID test, we're like, so it wouldn't be bad.
Yeah.
Got COVID. Our parents didn't appreciate that humor.
That was okay. So we're gonna end this live stream. Thank you guys. We've seen the numbers fluctuate from like 3 to 9 people viewing. I don't know. Yeah, that's good. We'll end it on 33. Okay, well, I'm gonna start another live stream just to mess around, but this is like the travel one. Okay, so if you want, just stay on, and then I'll start the live stream on the other one.
Thank you guys so much for coming.
I love you guys.
Thank you.
I love everybody that watched.
We're very excited to keep doing this.
We are.
Thanks for your support. We really appreciate it.
Like and subscribe. Subscribe if you're not subscribed.
Please like and subscribe.
Subscribe if you're not subscribed. Oh, South Florida Fishing's still there. I thought they left.
Aw, thanks.
Yeehaw! You guys weren't there this weekend. I was wondering where you were. I think they weren't there. All right.
Okay.
Bye.
See you.